There are 3 stages to the life course of any particular thing. Stage 1 is birth, stage 2 is actualizing potential, and stage 3 is returning to its source. For example, in agriculture, let's take wheat as an example. In the spring, it's born, it sprouts forth from the ground. In the summer, it's harvested, which is the actualization of its potential in the sense that it was planted in mind that it would be harvested and used. Third stage is returns to its source when, after it's been left out in the field for a while, towards the end of the summer, the farmer brings it back in. So these 3 stages are occurring in agriculture. The same is true in the course of a human life. You have birth, the beginning of the life. Then you have growth into adult life and the actualization of potential, a person trying to achieve what they're here for the course of their adult life. And then at the end of the life is a return to source where the soul goes back to God. So we find this pattern all over creation, birth, actualizing potential, and return to source. Now, this is actually the deeper meaning of the festivals, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Pesach is the birth of the nation, Shavuot is actualizing the potential, and Sukkot is returning to the source. So what does this mean? So Pesach being the birth of the nation is actually because the time in Egypt was like a gestation period. And as we left Egypt, the waters broke, the sea split, and we went through, and as we arrived on the other side, that was actually the birth of the Jewish nation. Shavuot was the receiving of the Torah. That's actualizing potential, because what is the Jewish people here for at the end of the day is to connect heaven and earth, to be that link between the divine infinity and the finite world down here. And that's exactly what the giving of the Torah is. On the one hand, the event of the giving of the Torah was exactly that. It was God coming down and expressing his will in this physical world. And additionally, the content of the Torah is really a guide, a practical guide as to how to connect heaven and earth in an ongoing way. And Sukkot is that third stage of returning the nation to its source. Sukkot is about the clouds of glory, when God in the wilderness took us and surrounded us with his Ananei HaKavod, his clouds of glory, and that is about going back to live with God as much as a human could possibly do. So we have this in the festivals as well. Birth, actualization, and return to source is really Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there were some things in the Fiddler on the Roof which were not 100% in line with the truth of Judaism, and this is one of them. In Judaism, we don't believe in commemoration. There is no such thing. We don't believe in living in the past, in nostalgia. We believe in living in the present. So what indeed are those festivals all about? Aren't those festivals about commemorating things that happened in the past? It's not true. Those festivals are about observing what's happening in the present. So what does that mean? The year has a metaphysical cycle. Just as there is a seasonal cycle, and every year summer comes round, and winter, etc., so too there is a spiritual cycle, where every year there is a pattern of birth, and a spiritual energy of actualizing potential, and a spiritual energy of returning to the source, which happens every single year. Pesach is the spiritual energy of birth coming into reality every single year. And that presents us with an amazing opportunity. It presents us with the opportunity to be reborn as a nation every single year. And more than that, we actually have the opportunity to participate in that rebirth. There is spiritual energy there. The spiritual energy of birth is coming into the world at that time, and it's ours for the taking. We just need to know what to do with it. So, in terms of the question as to what we can do with it, that we're going to have to come back next week to find out.